The war zone at the edge of known space was never quiet. Burning ships floated like broken bones. Red warning lights flashed across the dark stars. Warrior moved through the battlefield without fear. Thick black armor covered his body from head to toe. His helmet had no face, only a dark visor that reflected fire and death. The aliens watching from their command ships whispered the same thing. That is a man. A monster in armor. A perfect killer. The warrior did not speak much. When he did, his voice was deep, cold, and mechanical, clearly modified by some kind of voice modulator. Objective located. Enemy neutralized. Mission complete. No emotion. No hesitation. Entire enemy squads fell within minutes. Heavy alien soldiers with claws and plasma weapons charged at him, confident in their strength. None of them lasted long. The armored warrior moved fast and smart. He did not waste bullets. He ended fights quickly and moved on. That alone made him terrifying. Among the human forces observing the battle was Lieutenant Aaron Cole, a veteran officer who had seen too many wars. He watched the armored figure closely from a tactical screen. That guy doesn't fight like the others, Cole said quietly. A fellow soldier shrugged. He's an alien elite. Of course he's different. Cole shook his head. No, he avoids unnecessary damage. He protects civilians. He pulls wounded soldiers out, even aliens. That was true. During the last engagement, the silent warrior had dragged an injured alien child away from falling debris, shielding the child with his own body while plasma fire hit his armor. No reward, no command given. Just action. Alien commanders praised the warrior's efficiency but did not trust him. To them, mercy was weakness. Still, they needed him. Another alarm rang. Enemy reinforcements incoming. Someone shouted. The silent warrior turned toward the new threat. Without waiting for orders, he charged forward alone. Cole leaned closer to the screen. Who is this guy? He muttered. The warrior leapt across broken metal, sliding under heavy fire. A plasma bolt struck his shoulder. Sparks flew. The armor smoked, but he did not fall. He returned fire with perfect aim. 3 enemies down. 5, 10. Something unexpected happened. Massive explosion tore through the ground near him. For the first time, he screamed. It was only for a second, but it was enough. The scream was not deep. It was not rough. It was not male. Cole froze. Did you hear that? He asked. The feed glitched. Smoke covered the area. The warrior pushed himself up, clearly injured, but still moving. Alien medics rushed forward. The warrior raised a hand. Do not approach, the modulated voice said again, but now there was panic behind it. I am operational. Cole zoomed. Not green. It shimmered pale blue. That's not standard alien blood. Ignore it. The warrior will continue the mission. But he's injured, Cole said. We should. This unit does not need help, the commander snapped. And no one is to interfere with his armor. That only made Cole more suspicious. Why hide the armor? Why refuse medical aid? The silent warrior stood still for a moment, as if listening to something only he could hear. Then he turned and walked away from the battlefield, disappearing into the smoke. The mission was declared a success. Later, in the temporary base, soldiers spoke in low voices about what they had seen. That scream, that blood. Something's wrong. Cole accessed the battle logs. Most data was locked alien clearance only. But one line stood out. Armor status. Internal life signs classified. Cole leaned back in his chair. Internal, he said slowly. Not singular. His communicator beeped. A short message appeared. Encrypted and unsigned. Do not seek the truth. Cole stared at the words. Outside, in a dark hangar far from human eyes, the silent warrior sat alone. His armor hissed as internal systems worked to seal damage. Inside the helmet, Someone was breathing fast, frightened, exhausted, but alive. A soft, real voice whispered to herself, unheard by anyone else, "They are getting closer." She tightened her grip on her helmet. If they find out, everything ends. And somewhere in the galaxy, a secret that could change everything was starting to crack, just like the armor that was never meant to be broken, the Silent Warrior, did not appear in public after the battle. Alien Command officially announced that the armored fighter was under repair. No images, no updates. Just silence. That silence felt wrong. Lieutenant Aaron Cole could not forget what he had heard. The scream that did not belong to a man. The sound stayed in his mind like an unfinished sentence. During the next joint mission briefing, the warrior's seat was empty. "Where is he?" A human soldier asked. An alien commander replied coldly, "The unit will return when needed. Ask no further questions." Cole noticed something else. Since the warrior disappeared, alien forces were losing ground. Their tactics became aggressive and careless. They destroyed enemy positions, but also civilians. The Silent Warrior had been the balance. Later that night, Cole walked through the lower levels of the base. This section was shared by multiple species and poorly guarded. As he passed a sealed hangar, his wrist scanner buzzed. Unregistered energy signature detected. Cole stopped. The signature matched something from the battle logs, the same signal. Coming from the warrior's armor, the hangar door was locked with alien codes. Cole hesitated only a second before overriding it with human tech. The door slid open quietly. Inside, the hangar was dark. Only one figure sat near the back wall, the Silent Warrior. The armor was open now. Cole froze. The helmet rested on the floor. The massive chest plates were unlocked and folded outward. Tubes and wires ran into the suit, keeping life systems stable inside. The armor was not a giant alien male. It was a slender alien girl. Her skin was pale silver blue. Strange markings ran along her neck and shoulders. Her hair was long and dark, tied tightly to keep it out of the armor systems. Her chest rose and fell quickly as she worked to repair internal damage. Cole stepped back by instinct. She looked up. Her eyes widened. "Do not move," she said. Her voice was no longer deep or mechanical. It was soft but firm. Cole raised his hands slowly. "I'm not here to hurt you. You should not be here at all," she replied, panic slipping through her calm tone. She reached for the helmet, trying to pull it back on. "Wait," Cole said. "You're injured. That armor is barely holding together." She paused for a moment. Neither of them moved. Then she laughed softly, bitter and tired. "Of course a human finds me," she said. "It was always going to be a human." Cole frowned. "Why hide? Why pretend to be something you're not?" She looked away. "My kind does not allow females to fight," she said quietly. "We are meant to obey, to stay silent, to survive." Quietly, "But you didn't," Cole said. "No," she replied. "I refused." She explained everything in short, careful sentences. How her species believed only males could be warriors. How females were considered too emotional, too fragile. "How ironic," Cole muttered, looking at the shattered armor. "You're the strongest one out there." Her eyes hardened. "Strength is not allowed when it threatens tradition." Footsteps echoed outside the hangar. She stiffened. "They are coming," she whispered. "If they see me like this, I will be erased. Not killed. Erased from records." Cole's mind raced. "Put the helmet back on," he said. "I'll cover for you." She stared at him. "Why?" Cole answered without thinking. "Because humans don't decide worth by what someone is. We decide by what they do." She hesitated, then nodded. The armor sealed just as alien security entered the hangar. "What is going on here?" one guard demanded. Cole stepped forward. "Routine system. Check, human request." Approved earlier. The alien guard scanned the armored figure. The voice modulator activated again. System stable, the warrior said in the deep false voice. No further action required. The guards left. Silence returned. Inside the armor, her hands trembled. You risked yourself, she said through the modulator. For me, Cole smiled slightly. Get used to it. Humans do that. As Cole turned to leave, an alarm suddenly blared across the base. Unknown fleet detected. Extreme threat level. The warrior straightened instantly. That fleet, she said. They hunt my kind. And if they learn what I am, Cole looked back at her, then we make sure they never get the chance. Far away, in the dark of space, enemy ships changed course. Their target was not the base dot, it was the silent warrior. And this time, the galaxy would learn that the armor was not the most dangerous thing about her. The enemy fleet did not attack immediately. That was the first bad sign. Their ship stayed just outside sensor range, watching, waiting, studying every movement of the base. This was not a normal assault. It was a hunt. Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood inside the command room, staring at the holographic map. Red warning markers pulsed slowly. They are not here for territory, Cole said. They are here for someone. Across the base, the silent warrior stood alone in the hangar. The armor was fully sealed again. The deep false voice was active. To everyone else, he looked calm and ready. Inside the armor, she was shaking. They followed me, she whispered to herself. I knew they would. Her species had an enemy older than most stars. A race that believed her people were dangerous. Not because of weapons, but because of their minds. Their females, especially, were born with high tactical instinct. Too high. That was why females were silenced. That was why she was hunted. An alien commander entered the hangar with 2 guards. Warrior, the commander said, you will lead the counterstrike. The silent warrior turned slowly. Negative. Enemy intent is not confirmed. The commander's eyes narrowed. That is not your concern. You follow orders. For a moment, the warrior said nothing, then he nodded, acknowledged. But the commander was not fooled. He activated a private channel. Begin internal scan, he ordered. I want full confirmation of what is inside that armor. Deep inside the suit, warning lights flashed. Internal scan detected. Her heart raced. If they scan me, she thought, it's over. At the same time, Cole's wrist device vibrated. Unauthorized scan in progress. Cole swore under his breath. They're trying to expose her. He didn't hesitate. Cole rerouted power from the base shields for half a second, just enough to create a system error. Across the hangar, alarms flickered. Scan failed, a technician shouted. We lost the signal. The alien commander turned in anger. Find the cause. The silent warrior took 1 step back into the shadows. Human, she whispered through the private channel. You cannot keep doing this. Cole replied calmly. I can, and I will. Before she could respond, the enemy fleet moved. They jumped directly into attack range. The first strike hit the outer defenses hard. Explosions shook the base. Soldiers ran to their stations. This is it, the commander shouted. All units deploy. The silent warrior ran toward the launch bay. But halfway there, the lights cut out. Emergency. Red lights filled the corridors. Then a new voice echoed through the base. Not the enemy. Not human. Alien. Attention. All forces, the voice said. The silent warrior is a biological threat. Authorization granted for immediate capture. She stopped. They betrayed me, she whispered. Cole heard it too. You were never a threat, he said. You were their fear. Security drones dropped from the ceiling. Alien design, armed and fast. They surrounded the warrior. Remove the armor, a voice ordered. Compliance will be painless. The silent warrior clenched her fists. "No," she said softly. The drones fired. She moved, not like a brute, like a thinker. She used the environment walls. Gravity shifts, shadows. She disabled drones without destroying them. Precision strikes. Non-lethal when possible. Cole watched in awe. She's holding back, he realized. Even now. A blast hit her from behind. The armor cracked again. Pain surged through her body. "Stop fighting," the voice demanded. "You cannot win." She fell to one knee for a second. It looked like the end dot. Then human soldiers burst into the corridor, weapons raised. "Back away from her," Cole ordered. Alien troops hesitated. "This unit is alien property," the commander shouted. Cole stepped forward. "She's a sentient being, and she saved more lives than all of you combined." The corridor was silent. Then the enemy fleet fired again. The base shook violently. The silent warrior forced herself to stand. "They are not here to capture me," she said. "They are here to erase everything." She looked at Cole. "If I stay," she continued, "this base will fall." Cole understood instantly. "You're saying they'll follow you." She nodded. "I will draw them away." Cole shook his head. "That's a suicide run." She met his eyes through the visor. "I was born for this." Before anyone could stop her, she activated her armor's emergency launch system. The floor opened. The warrior dropped into space. Her ship launched seconds later alone. Damaged and hunted. The enemy fleet changed course instantly. They followed her. Inside her cockpit, blood floated in zero gravity. She smiled weakly. "They chose wrong," she whispered. Back at the base, Cole watched her signal fade. "This isn't the end," he said quietly. "It's the beginning." Because for the first time, humans were no longer observers. They were involved. And when humans choose a side, the galaxy always feels it. The enemy fleet chased her ship like hungry beasts. Missiles flew past her cockpit. Energy beams burned space behind her. Her small fighter shook with every hit. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Hull damage, life support failing, weapons offline. She knew she could not outrun them forever. The silent warrior no. The girl inside the armor forced her breathing to slow. Panic would kill her faster than enemy fire. "They think I am alone," she whispered. "That is their mistake." She changed course suddenly, diving toward a dead moon covered in wreckage from an ancient war. Broken ships floated like ghosts. Sensors went blind. Enemy targeting systems struggled. Her ship crashed hard into the debris field. The impact threw her forward. Blood escaped her mouth and floated in the air. The armor cracked again, this time deeper. She screamed, but no one heard. Minutes passed. Enemy ships circled the wreckage, scanning. "She is damaged," an enemy commander said. "She cannot escape." They sent boarding drones. Inside the broken cockpit, she tried to stand and failed. Her legs shook. The armor was too heavy now. She laughed weakly. "So this is how it ends," she said. Then her communicator blinked. Lieutenant Aaron Cole's voice came through, calm and steady. "You really thought we'd let you run alone?" Behind her moon, space warped. Human ships dropped out of jump space fast. Sharp and aggressive, not a fleet meant for defense. A fleet meant for war. Enemy commanders panicked. Humans were not authorized to intervene. Cole answered on open channel. "She's under human protection now." The enemy fired first. That was their second mistake. Human ships moved like predators. They did not spread out. They struck together. Precision fire crippled engines instead of destroying ships. "Disable, don't waste shots," Cole ordered. The girl watched from her cockpit, stunned. "They came for me?" A boarding drone broke through her hull. Human Marines breached through the other side, tearing it apart. Cole himself entered her cockpit. For the first time, she saw a human face up close. Not fear, Not anger, concern. You're hurt, he said. She tried to activate the voice modulator. It failed, so she spoke with her real voice. They will never stop hunting me, she said quietly. I am a strategic mind. A female. To them, I am a future threat. Colin knelt in front of her. To us, he said, you're a person who stood alone against the dark. She stared at him. No one had ever said that to her. Human medics removed parts of her armor carefully. For the first time in her life, she let someone see her without fear. Her species had taught her that revealing herself meant death. Humans proved them wrong. Later, aboard the human flagship, alien and human officers argued loudly. She broke galactic law, an alien commander shouted. Cole stood between them. She saved thousands of lives, he replied, including yours. She is dangerous. Cole's eyes hardened. So are we. The room went silent. The girl sat quietly at the back, wrapped in a human thermal blanket. Without armor. She looked fragile, but her eyes were sharp. The Galactic Council demanded a live transmission. They wanted to see this silent warrior. What they saw shocked them. Not a monster, not a machine. Not a man. A young alien woman injured, exhausted, but unbroken. This is the truth you buried, Cole said to the council. You used her strength, then tried to erase her. The council members whispered among themselves. One asked, why did you fight, knowing the cost? She lifted her head. Because silence was killing us, she said. And someone had to speak, even if my voice shook. Across the galaxy, reactions exploded. Females of her species watched in secret. Soldiers watched in shame. Enemies watched in fear. A symbol had been born. The council ended the call without judgment. That silence was louder than any verdict. Later, Cole stood beside her, looking out at the stars. You changed things, he said. She shook her head slowly. No, she replied. You did, Cole smiled. Humans have a habit of doing that. An alert suddenly sounded. New signals appeared, multiple, unknown, fast. The girl felt a chill. They are not here to capture me anymore, she said softly. Cole turned to her. What are they here for? She met his eyes. To make an example. Far away, enemy fleets aligned. Not against one warrior, but against humanity. And for the first time, the galaxy understood. The silent warrior was never the real threat. The real danger was what happens when humans decide someone is worth protecting. The galaxy did not wait. Enemy fleets gathered from every direction. Old rivals joined them. Neutral systems closed their borders. No one wanted to be near the humans now, because humans had done something unforgivable. They had chosen a side. On the human flagship, alarms echoed softly. Not panic alarms, preparation alarms. Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood at the center of the command deck. Around him were human captains, pilots, and strategists. No one was shouting. No one was afraid. They were focused. The alien girl sat in a medical seat near the back. Her wounds were healing, but she felt heavier than ever. They will burn your worlds first, she said quietly. That is how they punish defiance, Cole nodded. We know. She looked up at him, shocked. Then why are you still here? Cole answered simply, because some lines matter. Human scouts returned with bad news. Enemy fleets are forming. A blockade, an officer reported. They are targeting civilian lanes. They want to force us to surrender her. Silence filled the room. Cole turned toward the alien representatives aboard the ship. You can leave, he told them. No judgment. Some did. Others stayed. The galaxy watched as humans transmitted an open message, not a threat. Not an apology, a statement. We recognize the silent warrior as a free sentient being. Any attempt to claim, erase, or execute her will be treated as an act of war against humanity. Shock rippled across galactic networks. The alien girl stared at the screen. They will never accept this, she whispered. Cole replied. Then they will learn. The first attack came fast. Enemy ships struck a human convoy near a neutral station. Civilian transports burned. The galaxy waited for humans to retreat. Instead, humans responded in minutes. Human fleets jumped in close, dangerously close. Not for safety, but for speed. Disable engines, Cole ordered. No planet strikes, no civilian losses. They broke formations. They forced retreats. The alien girl watched the battle feeds, stunned. They are holding back, she said. Cole nodded. Always do. Immediate surrender of the girl in exchange for peace. She stood up slowly. I will go, she said. If it saves your people. Cole turned sharply. No. You do not understand. She insisted. I was trained for sacrifice. Cole walked toward her. And we were trained to stop that thinking, he said. He placed a hand on the table. We don't trade people for comfort. For the first time in her life, she felt something break inside her, not fear. Belief. The enemy made their next move. They broadcast her identity across the galaxy, her face, her species name. They expected shame. They expected her to hide. Instead, something unexpected happened. Signals appeared. 1, then 10, then hundreds. Female soldiers, strategists, pilots. All from her species. They sent one message. We are not silent anymore. The galaxy trembled. Enemy commanders panicked. Their control systems failed as internal rebellion spread. Traditions cracked under truth. Cole watched the reports and smiled. You didn't just start a war, he told her. You started a revolution. But revolutions demand blood. A massive enemy armada formed larger than anything before. Not to negotiate. To erase. Human. Sensors identified the target. Earth. The command deck went silent. The alien girl felt her chest tighten. This is my fault, she whispered. Cole looked at the star map. No, he said calmly. This is theirs. Human. Fleets began to move. Not in defense. In formation. Cole gave the final order. Not as a weapon, as myself. Cole nodded. That's all we ask. The galaxy finally understood the truth. Humans were not dangerous because they were strong. They were dangerous because once they decide someone belongs with them, they never let go. Space around Earth burned. Enemy fleets filled the stars like a metal storm. Their ships were larger, older, and built only for destruction. This was not a warning force. This was an execution fleet. Human defenses activated across the system. Stations powered up. Civilian ships rushed to evacuate. Every second mattered. On the command deck, Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood still, watching the enemy advance. They outnumber us 3-1, an officer said quietly. Cole nodded. Beside him, the alien girl. For the first time, she stood openly among humans. They will target command first, she said. Then cities. They want fear. Cole looked at her. Then we deny them fear. The battle began without ceremony. Enemy weapons fired in waves. Human shields flared bright blue, then dimmed. Multiple fires. On Luna platforms, human ships surged forward to cover evacuations. They took hits meant for transports. Pilots stayed in burning cockpits just long enough to clear paths. The alien girl watched, heart pounding. They are dying for strangers, she whispered. Cole answered, they're living for them. Enemy boarding pods slammed into a human station. Close combat erupted. Humans fought room to room, outmatched but unyielding. Then the enemy revealed their true weapon. A massive ship moved forward, black, silent, and ancient. A planet killer. Energy gathered at its core. Target, Earth. They're charging the main weapon. Someone shouted. Human fire poured into it. Shields barely flickered. The alien girl felt a cold certainty. That weapon cannot be stopped from the outside, she said. It must be disabled from within. Cole turned slowly. No, he said. That's a one-way mission. She met his eyes. I was born for one-way missions. Before anyone could stop her, she ran. A small human strike craft detached from the flagship. It flew straight toward the enemy giant, weaving through fire. Enemy cannons locked on. Pull her back. Someone yelled. Cole slammed his fist on the rail. Cover her, he ordered. All units cover that ship. Human pilots did not hesitate. They flew into impossible angles. Took direct hits. Blocked shots with their own hulls. The strike craft reached the enemy ship. She breached inside. Dark corridors. Gravity shifting. Alarms screaming. She moved fast, mind sharp despite pain. This ship was old but predictable. She reached the core chamber. Energy roared around her. She planted charges with shaking hands. Then enemy soldiers surrounded her. You should have stayed silent, their commander said. She stood tall. I tried, she replied. You didn't listen. They fired. Pain exploded through her body. She fell, vision fading. On the human flagship. Her signal dropped. Cole felt it like a knife. She's gone. Someone whispered. The planet killer's weapon flickered, then stopped. Confusion rippled through the enemy fleet. Moments later, the massive ship tore itself apart from the inside. The shockwave rolled through space. Enemy formations broke. Human ships pushed forward, desperate, furious. But the cost was terrible. Half the fleet damaged. Stations burning. Earth's shields near collapse. Cole stared at the empty screen where her signal had been. I'm sorry, he said softly. Then a weak signal appeared. Barely there. She's alive. An officer gasped. Inside the shattered enemy ship, the alien girl floated among wreckage. Her suit was torn. Blood drifted around her, but she was breathing. Human rescue teams reached her just in time. Back on the flagship, medics worked in silence. Cole waited. Finally, a medic looked up. She live, he said. But barely. Relief hit Cole like gravity. Outside, the enemy fleet began to retreat, not because they lost ships, but because they lost certainty. They had tried to break humanity. Instead, they found something worse, a species that would burn its own sky to protect. One life. The alien girl slept, surrounded by humans. For the first time in her life, she was not afraid of the dark. But the war was not over, because when the galaxy learns you can bleed, it will test you again, and next time, humanity would not wait. The war did not end with cheers. It ended with silence. Across space, damaged enemy ships retreated, not in order, not with pride. They fled because they had seen something they could not understand. Humans did not break. Humans did not beg. Humans did not let go. On the human flagship, lights were dim. Medics moved quietly. Too many names were added to the lost list. Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood outside the medical bay. Inside, the alien girl lay unconscious. Tubes ran from her arms. Machines breathed for her when she could not. She had stopped a planet killer. She had saved Earth. She had almost died alone in the dark. Cole whispered, "You're not allowed to leave now. Not after all this." Hours passed. Then, her fingers moved. Her eyes opened slowly. She saw white light, soft sounds, human voices. She frowned. "Did we lose?" Cole smiled, tired but real. "No, the galaxy blinked first." She tried to sit up. Pain stopped her. "So, Earth?" she asked. "Still here," Cole said. Tears formed in her eyes. "I thought strength meant standing alone." Cole shook his head. "Strength is choosing who you stand with." News spread faster than light. The enemy fleet's defeat became legend. But not because of numbers. Because of choice. The Galactic Council called an emergency gathering. For the first time in history, humans were not asked to attend. They were demanded. Cole stood beside her as the live transmission began. She wore no armor, no disguise. Just simple clothing and visible scars. Council members shifted uncomfortably. One finally spoke. "You broke ancient law," she nodded. "Yes," another said. "You inspired rebellion." "Yes," a third asked. "Would you do it again?" She looked at Earth's image on the screen. "Yes," she said without hesitation. The council fell silent. Then Cole stepped forward. "You built laws to control fear," he said. She exposed the fear itself. When you hid, she protected civilians you ignored. And when you tried to erase her, humanity said no. The council argued among themselves. Voices rose. Old power cracked out at last. A final decision was announced. All sentient beings, the council declared, regardless of gender or origin, are recognized as autonomous under galactic law. Gasps spread across the galaxy. Females of her species cried openly. Some laughed. Some fell to their knees. She closed her eyes. It was over. Weeks later, Earth repaired its scars. Human ships returned home. Names were engraved. Flags were lowered. On a quiet hill overlooking the blue ocean, she stood beside Cole. "What will you do now?" he asked. She thought for a long moment. "I don't want to be a symbol," she said. "I want to be a choice." Cole nodded. "That's very human of you." She smiled. The galaxy gave her many titles: Silent Warrior, Breaker of Chains, the girl who stood with humans. She rejected them all. She chose one name, her own. Years later, cadets, human and alien, studied the war. They learned a simple lesson. Humans were not feared because they were violent. Humans were not respected because they were strong. Humans were remembered because once they decide someone belongs, they rewrite the universe to prove it. And somewhere among the stars, a former girl in armor lived free. Not silent, not hidden, but heard.